Welcome back to another day of Bolts Analysis 2020, and it's a win and victory for McElhaney, or McElhaney, as the Ottawa commentator kept calling him. I don't think it's ever been McElhaney, but who, well, these things happen from time to time, as indeed does quite an entertaining game. And finally a regulation win over Ottawa at the third time of asking. First time didn't go quite so well, lost 4-2 at the Canadian Tire Centre. Then we just about got the overtime win in Tampa. And now a 5-3 win for Tampa Bay Lightning, taking them to 50 points. That looks better. A little bit closer to Boston, because Boston lost to the Edmonton Oilers at home, as the Bruins continue to wobble. And also, because of Philly losing and Carolina losing the night before, we are now level on points for the Carolina Hurricanes, and we're above the Philadelphia Flyers. So even if by some weird happenstance Florida managed to overtake us, we're still likely to fall back into a wildcard spot, so there's that little bit of insurance now. The game itself was kind of an interesting one. I think if you're an Ottawa fan, you probably feel a little bit hard done by, because they had a pretty good game. They know they're not the best team in the league, but they don't try and play a sort of defensive, let's sort of bitterly hold on to anything we can get. They're quite, progressive in the way that they play, and I quite like that. I did not like the fact that they scored in a short-handed goal. It's never fun to have a short-handed goal against you. It was a particularly bad way to start off the second period. But after that, I thought Lightning came back into it quite nicely, got the goals to make it 2-1, and then it kind of felt like we were trying to do what we did a little bit against Montreal, going, oh, we've got a lead, we can hang on to it now, away from home, we don't need another goal. We did need to get the goal, as it turned out, we needed to do quite a few more goals. As Ottawa put together a very nice power play goal to make it 2-2, and then with seconds left in the second, they managed to make it 3-2 with an absolute rocket. So, going into the third, kind of looks like the win streak might be at an end, but actually, if anything, we looked like the team that was going in the lead and wanted to extend it rather than being behind. Played some good hockey, started to get more shots on net. We didn't really have many shots on net in the second. Tyler Johnson manages to tie it up to make it 3-3. No, not Tyler Johnson. Braden Point. Braden Point is left all alone to make it 3-3. As once again a Canadian team decides that allowing Kucherov and Point to pass to each other is a good idea. It wasn't good for Montreal, it wasn't good for Ottawa either. And then Tyler Johnson managed to make it 4-3, and we even managed to find a bit of time to get an empty netter, as Ottawa didn't really look at where they were passing, made it pretty easy for us to get the insurance goal. And it's 5-3 win, and that's 6 wins in a row, and we keep beating Atlantic Division opponents, which is what you want to do. So yeah, and like I say, other results mostly went away. Florida lost again, this time in Buffalo, narrowly, but they lost 3-2, so Buffalo move a little bit up in the rankings. We gained ground on Montreal. Montreal couldn't quite get it done against Pittsburgh and lost in overtime. We didn't gain ground on Toronto, who looked very impressive. Watched the highlights of them shutting out the New York Islanders, which is no mean feat. So we're still 3 points behind Toronto, but games in hand. And I guess, well, like I say, a bit closer to Boston, because Boston lost 4-1 at home to the Oilers. We're still 8-9 points behind, but it feels like if we manage to win our games in hand and Boston continue to wobble, then maybe first in the Atlantic becomes a possibility, but until then, I'm ruling it out. I don't think it's particularly likely. More Lightning hockey tonight. So I will have some analysis very quickly after this one, because we are in Carolina at the PNC Arena to take on the Canes, and we need to do better than we have done so far against Carolina, because it's not been great. We played them earlier in the season and lost 4-3 in overtime, and I'm pretty sure there was one period where we didn't have a single shot, so let's not do that again. And we lost 3-2 to them at home a bit later on. So, 0-1-1, not fantastic. I'm pretty sure this is the last time we played Carolina, so it would be nice to make it 1-1-1 and even up the series. Florida are also playing. They're at the Penguins, and I think that's it from an Atlantic standpoint in terms of teams sort of in and around us. The interesting game elsewhere has already happened today. I still don't know how this happened. I watched it. I still don't know how it happened. San Jose Sharks were in Washington against the Capitals, 4-2 up, empty netter, with a minute left to go. San Jose, comfortable lead, should have been a comfortable lead. It's 4-3. It's 4-4. It's gone to overtime. It's 5-4 Washington. I don't particularly like Washington, especially after losing to them in 2018 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was thrilled to see that because that was great battling spirit and a fantastic way to sort of, show a never say die attitude. And yeah, just really good hockey the last minute and the new 2 minutes of overtime. And Braden Holtby effectively not only stopped the Sharks from winning in overtime, he essentially helped set up the goal. I'm pretty sure he got an assist on the overtime game-winning goal. So brilliant stuff all round. And I also managed to take in a live game last night in England. I watched the Nottingham Panthers take on the Dundee Stars. Christmas present from my wife, so thank you, Rachel. And yeah, that was quite an entertaining game as well. That also ended 5-4 to Nottingham, but it got a little bit nervy at times. It was 3-0 to Nottingham after 10 minutes. Then it was 3-3 at the end of the second period. Then it was 4-3 Nottingham. Then it was 4-4. Then Dundee went ahead in a shootout. And I thought I would never see Nottingham win at home because it's the third time I've been to Nottingham and they hadn't won at home until they managed to turn around in the shootout. Took the lead, stopped Dundee scoring any more goals in the shootout. 5-4 win. Very nice. And definitely got my money's worth on that one. So in just over an hour's time, I shall be listening to Lightning versus Hurricanes, and fingers crossed we make it 7 in a row. But even if we don't, I think we're playing much better, and we're showing that even late on in games we can turn things around and manage to get the 2 points. So as long as we keep doing that, I think we can safely look forward to playoff hockey in April. This has been Bolt's Analysis, and I think this time, just remember, Ottawa can't defend. So shoot the puck, and then you'll score.